The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Just gonna test my microphone. Yeah, that works. I'll just give it another minute or two for another couple of people to join. I am recording this webinar, so it will be available to download or to view online as well. You can get the link from the reseller. Just give it a minute. Okay, so I'm going to jump into a good few people online there now. Good, thank you all for coming today, and I hope you're having a good morning. So I'm just going to start a brief slideshow, and it's just going to be an overview of, I suppose, as I've said, top 5 reasons to upgrade from AutoCAD LT to full version AutoCAD. So a little bit about myself. I'm Jonathan Reinhardt. I'm an AEC technical specialist, so I deal with Autodesk products across CAD and BIM within the AEC industry. So I work for an Autodesk distributor called Tech Data, and we support Autodesk resellers across UK and Ireland. And I've worked in the industry as well as architectural technologist and in the BIM field as well. So I understand where technology and where software is important to step in as well. So just moving on. So I suppose the top 5 reasons I've identified as good moves to full version AutoCAD would be, number 1 would be 3D modeling. You can't do that in LT, and as we see, we're able to integrate a lot more in projects, the likes of BIM projects, through 3D modeling. So AutoCAD full version gives you the opportunity to be able to compete as well. Number 2, data extraction. BIM is famous for data, but you can do that in an AutoCAD as well, and it's just as powerful, being able to pull quantities and costs, and to be able to put your information together. If it's door schedules, window schedules, or if it's a manufacturing aspect as well, it's quite relevant. Third one we'll go through is parametric constraints. So being able to make your drawings work for you and not just have flat 2D drawings, but be able to create parametric objects that can be used across a design firm and to be applied to your CAD standards. Ensure that your blocks and your objects, CAD objects, are consistent across the board. So it's a good way to streamline workflows as well, and to cut out kind of duplicated work. So I'll go through that. I'll also briefly go through collaboration and how we can plug into the likes of BIM projects. And I suppose this is important in a lot more projects are becoming kind of BIM orientated, but being able to use AutoCAD to plug into that workflow and to be part of the supply chain. You mightn't be a BIM user or a BIM company for whatever reason, but you want to be able to collaborate on a BIM project. So AutoCAD allows you to do that. And then finally, at the end, I'll just briefly go through kind of installation and customization of AutoCAD. So being able to deploy network licenses and borrow floating licenses and be able to share them when they aren't being used by somebody else in your business. And as well as that, being able to install apps from the App Store and to integrate other file types as a result of being able to do that. And then being able to set up custom profiles as well, so how you like your workspace to appear, and being able to retrieve that on, if it's a project basis or if a customer or a client wants their drawings to look a certain way, you can apply profiles that enable that to happen. So I'll jump into a couple of slides, and then at the end I'll do about a 20-minute demonstration. So I suppose looking at AutoCAD, we all know it's been around for a while. You can see there 1982, and it's really grown in terms of its capabilities and its functions, and seeing it now and all the tools that it has, it really is good to see. And as I said, being able to plug that into a BIM process is extremely critical. So we can see a big thing added in 2017 there was the importing of PDFs, but also being able to share design views. So now within 2018, we're able to save time with our BIM workflows. You can also use XREF tools, and you can also convert imported SHX fonts as well, which was a big change. So yeah, it allows you to create nice designs, but improve collaboration and innovation to be able to make you more productive. So you're able to send drawings to the cloud, you're able to collaborate using design views, or you can also use the mobile app for AutoCAD, which is very handy, which isn't available with AutoCAD LT. And then you're obviously able to manage all your software updates as well with ease using the desktop app. So, we've become a lot more of a digital enabled society, and we've a lot of expectations from what we use. So they've all, I suppose, evolved in different manners, and you can see some of the common ones that we use across here. So AutoCAD is no exception, and we hope that we've Autodesk have integrated, I suppose, what is being used there out in society, not just in the AEC industry, but in the wider digital users world. So Autodesk have integrated similar features to appeal to more people, but also to make it more user friendly as well. So we understand that there's a value in subscription model on AutoCAD. So you're able to simplify your workflows, identify, you're able to personalize and customize your software, but you're able to connect to the cloud, and you're also able to innovate as well by creating nice 3D designs, but also able to leverage that information and pull data from it as well. So how has it been simplified? And just to give you a snippet of this, we now have the Autodesk desktop app, and that gives you updates every time they come through. It will come in under here. I actually have it installed here, and it's able to give you updates as soon as they come in. You don't have to go online, check a website. It's always there, and they pop up. I find it quite a handy way to work also. And it also ensures that you're working with the latest version. So if you're collaborating on a project, you also know that you can either roll back to a previous version, or whatever the project standard is, that you can also install that one as well. And it has an automatic installer as well, so it kind of avoids any hassle of uninstalling and reinstalling. You can also personalize it, as I said, by using different file formats. You can save them up to your A360 drive, but you're also able to download apps from the Autodesk App Store. You can use the Lisp program language, which we know has been going a long time, but being able to integrate that more into your process as well, and leverage AutoCAD to work in the way that you want it to work for you. You're also able to receive product-specific skill building tips, and these are included within the Autodesk ribbon in the top tab. You're able to get good help tips, and then you're able to experience better interoperability, so the likes of Navisworks and other 3D files. Sort of about being connected. So I suppose collaborating with AutoCAD, you can use the mobile app, and you can use A360 Drive or A360 in the cloud. You can also use named user access anywhere. You can pull profile preferences remotely as well. So if you have your drawings set up to appear a certain way, or your workspace to appear a certain way, you can retrieve that remotely as well. So if you move offices within your company, or move locations, you're able to pull that information as well. Or if you're working from a different location other than where you're usually based. So you can also get training, and you can get support as well through your reseller if you need it. So you're also able to view and share drawings across any platform. So I know there's been a recent integration with Dropbox, able to open DWG files, which is a massive piece of news I heard at Autodesk University, and really a great nod to AutoCAD and Dropbox being used together. So being able to innovate, so 3D printing, I won't go through that today, but you're able to export easier to 3D print. You're also able to attach and extract point cloud data, so if that's using Recap or a similar software like that, or if you're taking laser scanning from drone scanning or site scanning from site, you can also integrate that as well. And then it also underlays all your BIM design, so it integrates fluidly with the likes of Navisworks, and being able to enabling you to be able to collaborate on BIM projects. You're also able to, since 2017, import, plot and attach PDFs, which is absolutely fantastic. So suppose you can spend less time up front and over time as well, so or cost less upfront. So you're able to manage the cost and predict the spend with the subscription model, and you can meet the needs of project-based work as well. So you can just, if it's a monthly subscription, yearly subscription, or if you want to talk to your reseller about the best option for you, by all means do. But there's a model there to suit you, and you can lock in your price with multi-year plan options as well. You can go to yearly or 3 yearly as well. So what's included with the subscription to AutoCAD? So you get the mobile app, which isn't included with AutoCAD LT. So you're able to draft, edit, and view 2D CAD drawings across many devices. And you're also able to measure your drawings accurately while on site as well. So you can snap to line work in a drawing. And if you're on site, if there's concrete being poured and decisions need to be made fast, you can access a drawing. It's not an outdated one. It's the most up-to-date version that you can get, and you're able to get extremely, as precise as if you were sitting in the office taking a measurement. You can get that on a mobile device, the likes of iPad or Android, or a mobile phone. And you can get that through the popular cloud storage services as well, or A360. So you'll always have AutoCAD on the go with you. So what about the desktop app? I've touched on that briefly. So you can get alerts, as I said, and updates without disrupting your workflow. They come in. You don't have to go onto an online browser, check, log in. You don't have to do any of that. It's all in the bottom of your screen, in the bottom right hand side, or in your taskbar there, and you're able to access tutorials and to get the most out of your features as well. And it will also give you the latest versions of AutoCAD, as I already said. So I suppose some other great features of AutoCAD before I go into the software demonstration. I just want to kind of point out things that I mightn't get covered today, but at least I can talk about them in the presentation here. So I suppose the enhancements to the PDF import process, you're able to import geometry from a PDF file, or you can underlay it into an AutoCAD drawing as well, which is quite powerful. And it also recognizes the SHX text as well. So you can reuse PDF information as intelligent AutoCAD objects as well. So what about XREFs, or external fine references? You're able to fix broken paths for externally referenced files. Now XREFs default to relative, and this reduces broken paths. So you're able to easily find and apply the correct path to missing references. So this, look, it saves time, minimizes your kind of frustration when working with any sort of broken XREFs or paths as well. So what about your off-screen selection? So I suppose this enables you to navigate freely around your drawing while selecting objects. So the selected object stays in the selection set even if you pan or zoom off screen. It's quite handy as well. And then I suppose looking at kind of the technology and the performance, it gives advantage of improvements. You have a better viewing experience with access to 4K monitors. It supports 4K monitors and higher resolution displays as well. So better presentation there as well, better viewing of your drawings. And I suppose improvements include faster saves, improved 3D navigation, and there's also support for Bing Maps version 8.0 as well. So what about the UI or the user interface improvements? I suppose there's consistency and accessibility across common information or dialog boxes and the toolbars in the ribbon as well. So I suppose file navigation, dialog boxes, and these remember your column sort and order preference, so it's quite intuitive, and the specifying of layers and color drafting settings are simpler than ever as well. So about sharing design views, so you can share your views with ease via the cloud beyond just 30 days. So viewers don't need to log in or even an AutoCAD based product to comment on the shared views. Viewers can't alter your source DWG file, which is good as well. So if you're sharing it with a client or a developer or somebody who wants to review the design, that they can't change them either. So it kind of protects that side of things, but they can view them. So that improves the collaboration by pushing your drawings to the cloud. So I suppose looking at some of the new features of AutoCAD 2018, as I said, PDF import tool, XREFs improvement and off-screen selection, as I've already gone through. But then there's also text to M-text. So M-text objects can now be selected along with text objects, and the character codes always translate correctly. We've always had previous issues with them, but Autodesk have rectified that, thankfully. And the formatting is inferred as well, so it assumes what formatting you're applying to it. Technology performance, gone through that, integration with 4K and Bing Maps. The user interface is improved, there's more consistent view kind of and appearance, and then you're able to share your design views as well. And then we've all know trusted DWG technology, so this gives you further security to your drawings, and it helps ensure that, I suppose, the integrity of your data, and it is the best way to preserve and protect designs. And additionally, 3D solids and surface creation is now using the newest geometric modeler, which has improved security and stability as well. So I suppose beyond the desktop, outside of sitting in front of AutoCAD, what about the mobile app I've touched on, the Autodesk App Store, being able to access, third-party plugins, but also Autodesk plugins as well, and then obviously Autodesk A360, you have access to that from anywhere as well and any time. So briefly, just looking at the comparison there between LT and AutoCAD full version, there's quite significant. So 3D modeling, which we'll go through, point cloud, which I've mentioned, express tools, which I might touch on as well at the end, 3D Print Studio, as I've mentioned, and the access to APIs as well. And the access to the Autodesk App Store, which isn't available through AutoCAD LT. So quite a couple of items there that really put AutoCAD full version, I suppose, giving it a lot more capabilities over LT, and moving towards I suppose a BIM process is the full version of AutoCAD is definitely the next step from AutoCAD LT. So just, I suppose, additional resources if you want to download a trial, and contact your Autodesk reseller to kind of tell you what the next step in AutoCAD is as well. And they'll be able to discuss costs and subscription models and whatever best suits your firm. So sorry, just to compare some of the AutoCAD versions as well, we can see how they've progressed from 16, 17 and 18, and they've added a lot more features as well, and I can imagine that's only going to grow year on year. To really have to say, the BIM integration and coordination is really a great step forward, and really interested to see where that takes us in the future as well. So as opposed to, this is kind of what my fifth point will be. I can't demonstrate it in software, but I'll just talk about the network licenses. So the network licenses within the full version of AutoCAD, this allows you to share access to product licenses, and the network license manager installed are one or more servers, and this controls the sharing or distribution of the licenses to users. So, for example, if you have a firm with a number of AutoCAD licenses and there's only say 5 of them being used at the same time, and you might have 10, the remaining license can obviously still be used, but if one person stops using it, then another person can retrieve that license from the network server as well. So it adds a lot of flexibility and kind of would probably suit a design firm on a really flexible kind of basis as well to be able to access the software. So I'm just going to run through a demonstration here now. So I'm just going to briefly kind of go through the 3D modeling benefits, data extraction, I'm going to go through parametric constraints, collaboration, and then finally installation and customization. 2 seconds. So here we have a 3D model. We can see that it's in a 2D version. You know, a 3D model could have been produced, extracted. I suppose for the purpose of this, I have a different 3D model shown. You're able to rotate it, and you can see that lines would have been extruded to create the walls, and this would have been using the extrusion tool up in the top left there. So you can see that usually by default AutoCAD is set to drafting and annotation, but in the full version of AutoCAD and not LT, you get the 3D modeling tool or ribbon, and this gives you a whole range of different options. So you have the extrude tool, create solids from polylines and extrude them, give them a height. It could be walls or windows, different objects. And you also have your view cube in the top right as well. So this allows you to rotate orthographically around your object and to be able to view it in different directions. And you can also turn on elevation views, front, side, and rear as well. But what if we wanted to view it in a more obscure angle? We can use the orbit tool, holding down the shift key, and we can view it differently, and we're able to look underneath it and around it, and kind of makes it a bit more of a dynamic experience as well to be able. So this could be something you're demonstrating on screen, and you're able to rotate it in any kind of custom manner that you want. So what about the different viewing styles? So the one we have up is probably fairly plain. I've no materials applied to it. You can add materials to it and render it further, cloud rendering. This is a 2D wireframe, so it allows you to see inside the building with all the line work. So you can see walls internally there, the roof isn't hiding it or anything. But what if we wanted to present that to a client at a conceptual stage of a project, and you just wanted to make it a bit nicer looking and a bit more presentable for them? So you go up to your view and you can choose conceptual option to view it. There's also realistic hidden lines, which just gives it a black background. And if you had materials applied, which you can apply within AutoCAD full version, you can apply materials there as well. And as I said, you can send it to cloud. So one of the handy viewing options is being able to create sketchy lines. So it looks like a hand drawing sketch, but it's obviously still your 2D line work already produced in AutoCAD. So you can change you can see when you view in or when you zoom in, it looks fairly good in detail. And you can change the options of that as well and how the appearance of that is viewed. So the level of detail and the thickness of the lines and the overextension of the lines as well you can change. So if you just go back into your Visual Styles Manager, you can see you can change the line extensions, change the length of them. You can change the jitter up to high. You can see it's a bit thicker there, a bit heavier looking depending on your view. And you can go to low, or you can also turn that off as well. You can add a halo 20, no, it's too much. 5, and you can see that's quite a presentable drawing. So you could use that in a nice conceptual presentation to a client or a building owner. back to realistic there. And again, if you had materials applied, they'd appear there as well. If it was a brick or a wall finish. Just going to X out of that. You can also import other 3D files as well. So you can see FBX, DGN, as we said, PDF geometry, other formats, and if you drop down the files of type, you can just see you can bring in Pro E, Rhino, SolidWorks, Inventor, 3D Studio Max, CATIA, plenty of options there to integrate with a software you're already using or another person in the supply chain is using. So it's a consultant or a different designer or a kitchen designer using a different software that can integrate with your 3D process as well. Back to it. Just going to show you the section plane here. This is another option. Quite powerful tool. You're able to select the section plane. You can place that anywhere. Ask you to select the plane, and it brings up the plane. So I'm just going to pull that across. That creates a cut through your building. You can again generate a block cut from that. So that will create a cut and place it as 2D line work wherever you want. So generate section block. Let's go 2D section elevation. Yeah. And that allows you to place that line work there. So I'll just place that beside my drawing. Scale 1. Scale 1. Let's rotate it at that angle. So this could be a number. This could be your elevations. It could be a number of drawings. It could be all your floor plans that you've taken from your 3D model. And again, you can see it's pulled all the line work and created it entirely as 2D. So that's intelligent line work. You can create dimensions, apply different layers to it, and that's your entire section. It saves you having to start a section entirely from new, and you can pull that line work into your drawing as well, and you can develop it further with construction detailing if you want as well. So I'm just going to show you the flat shot option, which is similar. So that basically takes a 2D view of any view that you have open. So if it's a 3D orthographic view, it will create a 2D version of it. So you can see there it's created a 2D version, and that's just flat 2D line work along the XY plane. So it has no Z axis. And you can see if I flip to front view, it's completely flat line work. So you can create that for, it could be an elevation. I'm going to do it now, flat shot. I'll just type it in. Click create. Jump to my top view. And you can see that's created an elevation view of the building, all the line work. So completely pulling 2D information from a 3D process. Complete reduction in your workflow and streamlining your process. So you can see you can check dimensions on it as well. And it's intelligent line work. So what about data extraction and being able to pull further information, as I identified already? So quantities or costs. So you can see here they've created a data extraction of 2 fans in a building. It gives you all the information about them, and they're quantified as well. Actually, it pulls in the information. I'll show you a separate one with quantities now in a moment. So that's a table. You can use data extraction. It's also available up in your insert tab, annotate tab, extract data, or you can use DX as a keyboard command. It brings up, it's a handy data extraction wizard, so you can brings you through all the options, guides you through it. You can click next, a couple of options there. So I'm just going to create a new data extraction. Click next. It's going to save over a previous one I've created, saves it as a .dxe file. Click yes. So this allows you to, you can either select objects in the current drawing, or you can ask it to pull in all the objects in the drawing there. So you can also add drawings to that too. So if they're unopened drawings, different levels of floor plans, sections, elevations, if it's a window schedule you want to quantify, pull in, you can get it. You can add drawings into it that aren't open. See .dwg there, for example. I'll just show you that one. I will pull it in though, just in case there's not sure what information is in there. But that gives you a lot of flexibility to be able to pull information in from closed drawings. Let's jump into the settings. So you can just pull in objects from your model space or all objects in drawings. So I'll just select objects in model space just in case there's anything in papers or in paper space that we don't want. You can also include XREFs in your block counts, or you don't have to, whatever way your model is set up. So this brings up all the objects within the project, and you can select what objects you want to be part of. So I'm just going to have a look to see what this has pulled in. So this gives you an option for in step 4 to pull in different categories and filter by different categories. You can do it by attributes. So I'm just going to jump into another example now in a moment, just to show you doors. So you can see there it's pulled in that information. But it's pulled in a lot of other information that we don't need as well. So I'm going to create another custom one to show you how to filter out that data as well. It's pulled in on every line in a drawing, which can be, that could be drill holes or locations for screws on an object, and you want to quantify them or you want to identify them. Could be certain layers. So just opened up another drawing here in the background. So I'm just going to pull in, this is for doors. So I'm going to deselect all those options because I don't want the circles. I only want to pull in the door information. So hatch, line, name text, turn off all of those. And I only want the door information. And I just want to pull in the attributes from that data. So anything attached to it, you can see its cost, height, manufacturer, reference. And you can see there, that's your preview table there before you place it. And you can see it's quantified every door and the number of doors and pulled in all the information attached to it. So you can select to insert this, but you can also output it to an Excel file, which is really offers another powerful option to share your information with consultants or third parties in the supply chain that aren't necessarily using a CAD process. So I'm just going to place that in there. You can see that's pulled in a table. Just going to scale that down 50%, and you can see it fits nicely in there. And that information, as you remove or add doors, it will update that information automatically. You can see the other example here, they've added costs to the end, and that's intelligent information in the background as well. So I'm just going to copy one of these doors and see if I can get the table to update. So I'm just going to go down to the bottom right, go to update data links, see if it's updated. It takes a second. It should update. And you can see there it's updated to 8 numbers, and the cost is also updated as well. So a very powerful option to use within AutoCAD. So I'm just going to go on to Parametric Constraints next and show you that briefly. So I'm just going to pull up the tool palettes and show you the proprietary or built-in parametric objects within AutoCAD. This allows us to select our drawings to appear in a different way. So I'm going to bring in this toilet, for example, place it in the floor plan, place it out there. I'll delete that one, for example, even though it is a parametric object. Bring that in. You can see this is a front-on view. Obviously, it doesn't sit a floor plan. I'm not going to install a toilet like that. So we want that to be a top plan view. So you can see you have different options here to flip it. Let's flip, and then we've got our base point. But we also have a down arrow here with a line through it, and that's your different view options set up by your parametric constraints. So I'm just going to go to a plan view, and that's the view we want. It could be a different type of fitting or a different piece of furniture, different shape, and you can cycle through the different ones there. So I'm just going to rotate that so it's not in an awkward location, and just place that there. So I'm going to open that up and show you the actual parameters within the block editor. So I'll open it up, Toilet Imperial. So you can see here we've got our view tab, which is linked to our actions and our parameter set. And every action is linked to a parameter set, so it tells it what to do. So this could be, you could do this for a custom, this could be 2D details or custom details within your office that you use quite a lot. You can set different views, how it appears in a front view, top view, side view, and this can be a whole library that all your staff work from, so everybody's using consistent information across your firm. So you can see the flip line there as well, which doesn't appear in paper or any sort of drawing at all. It's invisible entirely. So I'm just going to see if we have any other objects here. For example, I think we have structural beams under the structural tab. So again, this could be custom made objects, custom beams within a structural business, structural firm. Could be a different elevation for an object, could be a bin store or a front door or windows or anything that you create custom, but these are the built-in ones, which are also very powerful within AutoCAD. So you can see here we have a lookup table for all our blocks linked to that steel beam, and they're all standard sizes created there, and they're created by parametric constraint dimensions within that object. If you can go into the block editor, you can have a look at it further. If you go to the Properties tab, you can see exactly what beam you have created there now. So I'm just going to open up Navisworks here, and I'm just going to jump into the kind of collaboration features of AutoCAD, which aren't available in AutoCAD LT. Just going to open up a file. Just going to wait for that to open just a second. Loading. Just going to append. I have one on my desktop here that I worked on last week. And you can see typical Navisworks file brought in there. So how do we get that into AutoCAD? So let's jump into AutoCAD now. So I'm just going to bring it into the same space. Purpose of this. So you can see we have a whole different set of options there, NWC, NWD. I'm just going to select that file, click open, gives you a series of options there. Just going to place it. Just going to move that now so it's not in the middle of my drawing. Shift it back there. And you can view that with your 3D modeling orbit tool as well, being able to rotate it. But what if you want to add information to that? So it could be a designer that's working on a project that isn't using a Navisworks or BIM process. So it could be a landscape designer, or it could be an interior designer, or anybody in the supply chain, and they want to add 2D information to it. So for example, it's going to drop in some cars. So, but this could be an internal room layout, it could be furniture, or it could be planting or landscape design, or any part of a project, piping or mechanical. Just going to rotate that, place the car. Place that there. So duplicated that across in the background. So what if we want to get that information back into Navisworks and to be able to coordinate it if it's a BIM process and consultants are pulling in information? So that will pull that in. It will pull into, you can set up the coordinates. You can see it's slightly offset there, so we know they're in the wrong location. But you can set up a shared coordinate system, and you can share that out amongst your consultants. And I suppose that's really what brings AutoCAD into the BIM process and really makes it apply to BIM. So that's some of the demonstration now. So a couple other things I'm just gonna. So I've gone through network licensing already. So just the kind of the last and final one. So I've gone through 3D modeling there in the demonstration, data extraction, parametric constraints, and collaboration. And I've spoken about installation and customization. But I suppose part of installation and customization as well is access to the App Store. So I'm just going to see if I have access to it here. So some of the if you just go to your featured app tabs, again, this isn't available in AutoCAD LT. You can connect to your App Store. See what this brings up. So you have a lot of different options here to add plugins. So a handy one, Sketchup import plugin tool. If an architect or designer has created some sort of model within SketchUp, they want to get it into CAD, there's no loss of work there. You can easily import it and create that line work into AutoCAD drawings as well. Yeah, so that's some good options of that. There's a lot of dimension apps, and there are hundreds of plugins there as well, and it's definitely worth having a look through. So that's the installation and customization kind of wrapped up as well. So I suppose just look back and a recap of what we've already gone through. So we've kind of gone through all of that. I've demoed some of it and spoke about the rest of it. So if you have any further questions, please contact your reseller, and they'll talk to you about the best option for you. So thanks very much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.